This is my second match on Soul Calibur 6. I just finished going through the move list really fast and I dove right in, which might be a mistake since I don't know any combos, but I just wanted to play. But of course I had to go against Aswell, who I have no idea on what he does, but I'm gonna guess it's kinda like Algol from Soul Calibur 4. I mentioned in the previous video that I joined the Navy Reserve when Tekken 6 came out, which was right around 2009. I was working in a call center and I was living on my own, but I lost my job. And I absolutely hated working in a call center, and I never want to do that ever again. I even got a few nightmares from working at that place. You know, when you drive to work in the morning and you imagine what it would be like if you get into an accident and be life on disability, that's when you know how much you don't want to work there. I worked there because the pay was really good. I mean, the pay at many call centers were really good. At the time, starting at $12 full-time was so much better than $6.50 part-time. After the call center, I was looking for any non-call center work while taking college courses, but it was also around the recession. It was tough. Then, as more and more time went on, the more interested I was in joining the military. I always thought about joining it. I mean, I grew up in a military family, and it didn't seem that bad. In Korea, every male has to join the military for a couple of years, and I think I wanted to experience it just to know if it was for me. In all honesty, I didn't know too much about it, especially when it comes to job selection. I knew that whatever is available, I probably could get it because I had really good ASVAB scores in high school. Now, during high school, the military visited us and they gave us ASVAB tests. They're supposed to give us a score on your general knowledge of things. It's supposed to determine if you're knowledgeable enough to go into a particular military career. I talked to a recruiter, and you know, it wasn't a negative experience. They didn't hound me to join up, but at the same time, it was the recession, so more people were joining the military. A week later, they drove us en masse to Denver, and we took the ASVAB test again, and I scored a 95. And if you're above a 90, then you can select any job you want, technically. And I say technically because they have a very, very large selection of jobs, but they have a small number of actual jobs open. It was silly. They had printed out 6 pieces of paper describing the work available, and it was a high pressure situation. Whatever decision you make, they wanted you to decide right then and there. It was kind of like a sale, you know. They try to sell you a car, make sure you don't leave and do homework. They just want you to sign up right then and there. I honestly wanted to be a Navy photographer, but they said it was such a limited position that they doubt it will ever open up for me. They had jobs available for full-time and reserve. I know full-time is not really a word, but you know what I mean when I say full-time. And I'm going to be honest with you, with everyone that's listening to my video right now, I know that there are bonuses for signing up for a particular job, and I wanted it. I was unemployed for too long. I was racking up credit card debt, and you know how college courses and textbooks could be. They were not going to tell me which positions had a bonus though. So when they passed out the positions, there was one for an intelligence specialist, and the guy pointed at it and said, "They are hurting for this position." So I read what it was about, and it sounds like they do research and they do presentations. So I already do that at school, so why not do that for work, huh? So I picked up that one, and they said it was a bonus. I'm gonna break a rule. They said, you know, people normally say, you know, don't tell how much you get paid, whether it comes to bonuses or for any job. I'm not just talking about the military. I mean, they really don't care, like if I tell you guys how much of a bonus I got. But people are sometimes weird when they hear like how much money you get at a job or if you got a bonus. The bonus for this one was $20,000. If I complete the training, they'll deposit the bonus in my bank account, which after tax is probably around like $12,000. So do the boot camp, do the training, and then they'll put the money in there. It would take care of most of my credit card debt and college debt. Together, not separately. I mean, my college debt was definitely bigger than my credit card debt. I was also very fortunate that my wait time was very small. It was only 3 weeks. Because normally when you pick a job, you have to wait anywhere between a month to a year just waiting for like an open slot for boot camp and job training. But I was gonna leave as soon as 3 weeks. I had to take care of my apartment lease and other things really fast before I left. I signed over the lease to my sister, and for the job that I was gonna start in a different call center. Yeah, I picked up a job at a call center even though I said I never wanted to do it. But you know, I was desperate. I told them that I couldn't attend because I signed up for the military. I also didn't have to worry about being physically fit. I was already going to college every day, so I was going to the gym every day on campus. The hardest thing to worry about was the 1.5 mile run, which I have to do under 12 minutes. I definitely made weight, so I don't need like any special diet program or anything like that. The only thing to do was to fill out my questionnaire so I could get a security clearance. It was kind of tough because I don't really keep record of things, and I needed places where I worked, so I need to get the address, my supervisor, 3 people who could verify that I worked there, and I had to do the same thing for where I lived, where I went to school, so it was kind of tedious. The final part was the wait until I was driven up to Denver, and I stayed at their hotel until the bus picked us up in the morning. The bus took us to the airport, and I hung out at the USO until it was time to fly to Great Lakes, Illinois for boot camp. I had to admit, the whole time, I had imposter syndrome, which, you know, for people who don't know, you know, it felt like I wasn't really there. Like, it wasn't me doing all these things. It was like I was looking outside in at myself. It's because I never really done such big steps in my life, you know. All I did was like go to work or go to school, you know, just did what I normally, you know, what everybody did. Some people were a bit nervous there, and I watched enough YouTube videos to know that I just gotta listen to what everyone says, never take anything personally, and never look at anyone in the eye. I just have to try really, really hard to stay awake. The bus ride from the airport to boot camp was eerily quiet, and they showed us this really silly video on what to expect when we get there. It was a little too campy, but whatever. I knew that I was gonna prepare for a night of yelling and standing in line.